Hi guys, welcome to my channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Angel and today is finally my plant tour. So I was able to get one of my coworkers to be my camera lady. So thank you again, Alexis. And without further ado, here is a tour of all of my houseplants. My Majesty Palm. She has gotten really big since I first got her. I found that having her in this room does work really well and just giving her lots of light and lots of humidity, and she is good to go. And cleaning her leaves off every once in a while is good too. I will clip her leaves if like her tips get a little bit too brown, just to keep her pretty green and looking fresh. She's a super easy plant to take care of, just really large and in charge, this one. We have my rubber tree, and I honestly forget about this one because she's so low maintenance. She likes light, but she doesn't really need a lot of water, so I pretty much let her completely dry out. She does really well. The one thing is that her leaves have to be cleaned regularly because they do get pretty dusty. I pretty much clean her leaves more than I do anything. She's good. She's super easy. And this one over here is my bird of paradise. I'm in love with her. She has a new growth point coming. When I first bought her, she had one, and that was this leaf that is now nice and bloomed and unfurled and everything, but she just kind of went dormant for a while after that, so I wasn't sure if she was getting the right conditions, but clearly she is because she has a new baby coming out. She is a little bit hard to tell when she's thirsty because everything that I've read says that she likes a lot of water, she likes her soil to stay moist, but I just feel like that can lead to root rot. I feel like her leaves will really curl up if she's like dying for water. I do kind of let her soil dry out, probably more than is recommended. She also likes a lot of sun, so that's why I keep her in the light and have the grow light kind of shining down on her. Now on to this plant shelf that Shane actually got me from Amazon. We have right up here my Hoya compacta, which is one of my favorite plants. She looks pretty much the same as when I did my plant haul introducing this plant. She does have a little bit of yellowing happening on this side of her, and I'm not sure why. I really just let her completely dry out. I feed her with the Hoya fertilizer that you just can spray on her because they can absorb that food through their foliage. I just try and keep her in bright light. She's just a super slow grower, which I already knew that to begin with. I just hope that at some point she can bloom. Like, that will make me really happy. And then over here we have my Croton Gold Dust. This one has gone back and forth with being happy and then not happy. As you can see, she's kind of bare here because at one point she lost a lot of her leaves. I feel like she used to have 3 little stems and one of them just completely died. I know that they like a lot of water. I try to really make sure that when her soil is dry, I water her immediately. I don't like to leave her too long without water because she will drop leaves so fast. She likes a lot of light to keep her variegation, which is so stunning. And next to her is my spider plant. So gorgeous. I love the foliage of the spider plant. My mother-in-law actually gave this to me. It hasn't had any babies yet or anything, but it is getting quite large. It's really easy to damage. That's the one thing that I have to be careful with this one when I move it and put it back, because the foliage is so long but very fragile, so sometimes it'll get like caught under itself and like break off. As you can see, that happened here. This is such an easy plant. It just likes a lot of sunlight and you water it when it's dry, and that's really it. And this is my Maranta, or my prayer plant. She is blossoming so much. She has 2 new leaves that are about to unfurl. She has grown like an incredible amount since I first got her, and I even was able to propagate her. So this little baby is from her, and even the propagation has grown so much. This started out with just 2 leaves, and now it's got up to 4 and has a new leaf unfurling. But these guys really are very fast growers. I like to keep them in here because this room is humid and they like that, but they don't like a lot of direct sunlight, so I try to keep them in the shade but still getting that good light. That's kind of why I have them in the under part of this plant shelf. So this is my Croton Petra. I again just talked about her in my favorites video. She is just so large and is growing so much. She loves the sunlight, so I always keep her near the window and have that grow light on her. Just try and keep her leaves nice and shiny so that they can soak up all that light. The variegation is so ridiculously striking on this thing. The top of her is a little bit green, but she does have the yellow spotting that's coming, so I feel like her variegation is just taking a while. And we have the arrowhead vine. I started to notice her leaves losing a little bit of their green. I used to have her up here and I think that was too close to the grow light, so I moved her down a shelf so that she's still getting that good bright light that she likes, but not too direct. She is getting so tall. Absolutely love it. I talked a little bit about it in my favorites video, but I like to let her soil dry out, give her leaves a nice misting every once in a while, and that's pretty much all I have to do for her. And this little weird monstrosity is a propagation I did with my Philodendron Brazil, and I think she has a regular Hartley philodendron in here as well. I don't know, I just was taking a bunch of propagations a while ago and these grew roots really fast, so I just put them in the pot. And this one honestly hasn't been doing much, so it's interesting to see like the different conditions with plants and how they react to that. There is my Dracaena. This also is called a Florida Beauty. She is just stunning. I love her foliage and the polka dots, and I feel like she's grown a lot since I first got her. She's gotten really tall. I think she's even gotten a new stem. These just are such easy plants. I mean, she likes sunlight but not too direct. She just likes to stay watered, so I do, like I said, I let her soil dry out, but as soon as it dries I water it, similar to my crotons. Like, I don't let her go too long without water because they are a tropical plant, so they do like to have their soil to stay watered, but I don't let them stay moist because that's just asking for root rot in my opinion. And this one, so beautiful. This is my rattlesnake plant, and this I think is in the family of like the Marantas. They're very vocal. They like to do the whole dancing thing at night. I love not only the shape of the foliage, but the little spots that are all over her leaves are just really pretty. So this is pretty much the same kind of care that I would do the Maranta. I give her light but not direct. That's why she's towards the bottom of my plant shelf. Keep her consistently watered. I'll let like the first half of her soil to dry out and then I'll just water her. She's just super pretty and I love the darkness on her leaves. This is my alocasia. She has gotten really bad since I got her. So I chopped every leaf that was browning or just like really bad, and this is what I was left with, and she still doesn't look that great, but these leaves at least have stayed pretty decent and haven't dropped off. I just completely neglect her now. Like, I'll water her if she's like bone dry, but I don't even know if she's gonna survive, honestly. I know that these alocasia sometimes will go dormant during the winter time, so not sure if that's what she's doing. I hope that she'll just like bounce back in the springtime. My peace lily was one of my original plants. She had a lot of root rot, and so I put her in a smaller pot. I couldn't stand looking at her leaves that were so large and just like rotten looking, which I know not every plant's going to be perfect, but she had these gigantic leaves that were so crispy and brown, and I wasn't sure if she was going to make it, but she has new growth. Like, she's growing these new leaves. She has even like grew out of what I chopped. I think she's hanging in there. I do just keep her on the bottom of the shelf, not only because I don't really care to see her, but because she doesn't like a lot of light anyways, but she likes a lot of humidity. I just hope that one day she'll bounce back. Plants are really resilient. Sometimes when we try too much to fix them, it causes more harm than good. So I'm just kind of giving her space and letting her do her own thing if that's what she decides to do. This girl has been through some stuff. She was getting really big when I first got her, and I decided to attempt a moss pole, which I had her in for a while, but she was getting a lot of yellow leaves. Because of the moss pole, I feel like her soil was just staying wet. So I ended up taking her out, putting her in a smaller pot. She has grown one leaf since then, but this is pretty much what her leaves will look like. Like, this is the new leaf, but it's not getting like firm. It's just floppy. Recently I just watered her, so I was hoping that maybe she would look better, but she still just looks the same. And the last plant in this room is my fiddle leaf fig. So I absolutely love this one. It's so beautiful, and honestly it is a very easy plant that I've found to take care of. I just like to keep the leaves really nice and clean because they do collect a lot of dust. I just let the soil completely dry out, which can be hard because her pot is fairly large. I try to keep track of it on my plant app, and I actually went 2 months without watering her, not even realizing that. Even going 2 months, like, she looks good. Like, there hasn't been any damage or any dropped leaves or anything like that. One trick that someone said is to every once in a while kind of like shake its stem as if it's windy, and that will help the roots to really grow like thick and sturdy, because these guys can get pretty tall and sometimes they can topple over if it's just one stem, like this one is. Since I got her, she has only grown one leaf. Another reason why I really like fiddle leaves, because you can kind of manipulate their growth more than you can other plants. With like pinching the stem on the top will stop the growth from the top, and then you can make it so that it will grow out with stems on the sides as well. So I kind of like that. That is all the plants in my grow room. Over here we have my string of bananas, and this is pretty much where it's been this whole time. She's gotten really long. I just recently talked about how I repotted her and everything like that, so she's been doing really good over here. She loves being right near the window. We have some sansevierias over here. So this one is my cylinder sansevieria that my mother-in-law got me from Costco. She's grown a little bit, but not that much. This one is actually an accident propagation. So this one came from my larger sansevieria, and when I was repotting it, this section just kind of like broke off with all of its roots, so I just figured I'd repot it. And up here we have a succulent that we actually started growing outside in our yard, and it grew super huge outside, so we dug it up and we put it in this pot. It's done okay indoors, and for the summertime it got a lot of light in here. My app calls this a string of buttons, but I don't really think that it is, because I have a little string of buttons and they look different. So it's been here for a couple months now, and it's done okay. It has a lot of babies and stuff too, so. And then down here we have a lot of my cactus that I got as gifts from people. This one I got from Walmart. This is the globe cactus. Finally learned what name it is. And I don't know, she's pretty cute. I've seen what they look like now really large, so I'm hoping that she gets pretty big. And then these all were gifts. So my lovely camera lady actually got me this zebra plant, which has actually grown a lot since I got it. So it's gotten really tall, and then it's got these little babies in the middle and on the sides that have grown quite a lot. So I'm really excited for this one to keep growing. My mom got me this Mother of Thousands, which is done really well, which I'm happy about, because I wasn't sure, because in the mail it did not look that good when I unboxed it. But she's perked up really nice, and actually it has some new growth growing. This moon cactus. So she is still looking really nice, has great coloring and everything. And I can never tell if these kind of cacti are happy or not, but she seems okay. This adorable bear paw, which is one of my favorite little succulents because it is so soft. Super duper soft, and it has a lot of new growth growing because I had it outside at first and it did not like that. It says that it likes full sun, but it doesn't. So I brought her inside and it's done a lot better in here and hasn't lost any more of its little paws. And then down here we have my 2 Sansevierias. So I've had this one probably the longest. So this one's name is actually...
My name is Jeff.
If you've ever seen 21st Jump Street. I don't know why. My best friend just said we should call a plant that, so I called this one. My name's Jeff, and then this is my other Sansevieria that is growing quite nicely. With all the plants in here, I really let them all completely dry out because they're all cacti or succulents. Even the Sansevierias are really drought tolerant. This is honestly a room that I can just forget about. They just need to make sure that they have a lot of light. The Sansevierias do well in low light, but if you want them to grow, they're going to need that extra light. So that's why I leave them in here with my cacti. And lastly is my elephant's bush, which I just talked about in my favorites video. So his name is Horton. I did have to recently move him into this room because of the winter time. So hopefully he doesn't drop any leaves in the meantime because he's usually right up against the window, but it's gonna be way too cold. So I moved him over here where he still does get a lot of sunlight from this window, but that is all the plants in this room. In our living room, we've had this little coat rack for so long, and so we ended up making it a little plant hanger instead of a coat rack. I just put this really cute little row of heart leaves and my original golden pothos vine on here. These came from my mother philodendron that I will show you soon. They are already growing so much since I potted them up. My golden pothos vine has grown quite a lot since the very first video I ever did. I also was able to put a couple propagations inside of this pot as well, so it does make her look more full. But as you can see up there on the top, she has sprouted a lot and she has a lot of new growth coming as well. So I'm really excited to see kind of what this wall turns into. I don't know, I just really like that we were able to make this wall like a plant wall. We were in between getting like an actual shelf or doing this hanging thing, but I kind of like the hanging version more than the shelf. So over here on my windowsill, I have a couple plants that need a lot of light, but for the winter time, they also need like a cool area. So that's why I kept them on the window. I did have a lot of my succulents and cacti on this windowsill, but I had to move them for the winter time because they don't like the cold. This one is new. This is a hibiscus plant that I got from a friend who has like a huge tree, and I'm not really sure about her yet because like I said, she is pretty new and I just recently potted her up. Since I've had her, she's mostly been in water. From what I've researched, they like a lot of light. They like humidity, but I didn't want to have her in the humid room because she does like more of a cold environment during the winter time. So I'm going to keep her out here in the window and see if she likes it or not. And over here is my Silver Falls, which I had to completely save and take out of soil, put it in water, and let the roots regrow because I definitely killed it. Now I feel like we are on good terms. I know more about Silver Falls and the conditions that they like. It has been in this window ever since I put it back in water, and it has grown a lot. She is pretty vocal. Like when she needs water, she will completely just drop down and won't hold herself up anymore. But I don't like it when she gets droopy, so I try and water her before then. But the one time she did get droopy and I watered her, like she was fine. She didn't drop any leaves or anything like that. And she perked right back up like 2 hours later. And the last one on my window is this air plant, which I got as a gift, and I absolutely know nothing of air plants. So I definitely just try and use my Planta app to tell me when to water this guy, and it at least still has green, so I think that's a good thing. I have talked to a couple people now and they say to soak them in water at least once a month, so I'm gonna try and just do that. I just put it in water like upside down and leave it in there for like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I let it dry on a towel for like an hour to 3 hours, and then I put it back, and then I just like leave it. I really don't know anything about them, but I think that they're really cool, and maybe I'll learn more one day and get some more air plants. We'll see. That is all the plants on my windowsill. In my entryway, we have these two lovely ladies. This is an Enjoy Pothos. She has grown so much since I've got her. She used to have like the moss that was around her pot, but I ended up taking it off because I felt like I wasn't able to really tell if her soil was dry or not. When I did take the moss out, I realized how long she really is, because all of this was kind of like trapped in here with the moss. I feel like I can really see her growth now, and she's starting to trail, as you can see. I absolutely love this pothos. It's probably one of my favorites because of the variegation, the white in her leaves, and how every leaf looks so unique. I always have her kind of in like a medium light situation. I let her get completely dry before watering her. I will trim her leaves every once in a while if it gets like really brown. That's what happens sometimes when you have a leaf that has white in their leaves. Sometimes the white can die, and so that's what happened with this leaf, because a lot of this was white on the leaves, and so it just, I don't know, they just get brown and shriveled and they die. But the other side of the leaf that's mostly dark green is fine. So I don't know, I found that that's what happens with the Enjoy Pothos and then the Marble and Snow Queen Pothos that I'll talk about next. This one is a tricky one. So this side is mostly Marble Queen, and then this side is more of the Snow Queen. I bought them at Lowe's and they came in like the little tiny 2-inch pots, so I bought 2 of each and put them together. And the Snow Queen has been more difficult to take care of and keep happy. As you can see, it's kind of like bare on this side, and then on this side it's very lush, and there's just still a lot of foliage happening. This one is actually named, so this is named Jenna for Jenna Marbles. She's like one of my favorite YouTubers. I'm trying to figure out how to make the Snow Queen Pothos happy. I know because it is a lighter plant that sometimes white plants can be a little bit more tricky with lighting and everything like that. Worst comes to worst, maybe the Marble Queen will just take over the whole pot, but I really do love her marbling on the Marble Queen Pothos side. And this lovely lady is my Brazil philodendron, and her name is Encarnacion from one of my favorite movies. She is just gorgeous. My mom got me this macrame hanging basket. I don't know what it is about taking up wall space with these baskets, but I feel like this wall was just so bare and empty, and I feel like philodendron can do really well with like a low light situation. So obviously she's like dead in the middle of the room, and there's windows on either side, so she doesn't really get like super intense sunlight. She is just such a good plant. Because she's in a smaller terracotta pot, she will dry out very quickly, so I just have to make sure I don't neglect her too long. She has a lot of new growth coming in. Her leaves are just so exquisite and beautiful. This one is my ZZ plant. I really need to clean this terracotta pot. This one's name is Apocalypto because she can basically go through the apocalypse and be fine. She was one of my first plants. There was times where I completely neglected her and left her without water for a long time. There was times where I was probably watering her way too much and she was doing okay. Recently, before I put her in terracotta, she was actually growing mushrooms on her soil. Like, I'm not even kidding. I just really just let her completely dry out. Her leaves do get really dusty, so I try and keep her leaves clean. She's probably the easiest plant that you could ever have. ZZ plants are great starter plants. If you feel like you have a black thumb, get one, and it'll help you to see that you can take care of plants and keep them alive. This big old lady over here is a Silver Bay Chinese evergreen. She is So gorgeous. The only thing about Chinese evergreens is they do not like high light, so they're really good in like low light situations. They don't like draft, so you don't want her anywhere near like a door that's going to be opening and closing all the time, or windows or anything like that. That's kind of why I have her in like the middle of my room. She grows so fast, like she's non-stop growing. Even right now she has a bunch of new growth in the middle. Now onto my bookshelf slash plant shelf. This is a watermelon begonia. I got her on clearance and she was a mess, and she still is a mess with a lot of new growth. I can't even believe that she's still alive. Her foliage is just so beautiful. Like it really does look like little watermelons. She grows so odd and her stems are so ridiculously fragile. I have to be really careful with this one. From what I know, she's okay with medium to low light, and she's okay with drying out completely. And over here we have a row of baby rubbers. This big mama here is one of my favorites. She is so gorgeous. I love the pink rim on all of her leaves. She just is such an easy plant. These guys have like succulent type leaves. They will tell you with their leaves when they actually need water. If they're like firm and they don't like bend easy and they snap right back, then they're usually okay. They honestly can go a while with just dry soil, similar to a succulent or a cactus. I don't remember if this was an accident or if I purposefully took a leaf from her, but that's what is this guy. And I propagated her like a couple months ago, so we shall see in the springtime if she does anything. This is also a baby rubber. This was one of the very first plants that I ever got from my mother-in-law, and I've had her for like 7 years, and she was a lot bigger when I first got her, but I killed her. So she was another plant that I had to save. Ever since I put her in soil, she's done really well. She has these 2 new leaves. Oh, and I just noticed it's actually growing a new leaf. That's awesome. Yeah, these guys are so easy. They like a lot of sunlight and to just be left alone. My original Chinese evergreen. I have had such a problem with this one, with her leaves dying, with her leaves getting mushy. I wish that she was doing well because her leaves are really pretty. I love the little pink that is in a lot of her foliage. I think that's super pretty and unique. So hopefully one day she starts to like me. I give her pretty much the same conditions as the Silver Bay. She keeps popping out new leaves, but at the same time, like I feel like she's losing just as much as she's growing. Here we have my dumb cane, or my Dieffenbachia, I think it's pronounced. And this one is also just a super duper easy plant to take care of, but you have to be careful because some people can be allergic or have reactions to this plant. Some people just touching their foliage, some people it has to be like the root system, but these guys are very toxic. So for animals or for babies, like I try and keep them out of reach. I've seen that it likes high light, but I've never given it high light. I've always had it in like medium to low light, and it's done really well. This is my Pilea. I don't know what happened with this one. It dropped so many leaves. Like this used to be full of leaves and it dropped so many leaves, and then it also had like a little baby stem coming out, which I accidentally broke. And she's already sprouted a new leaf. So I know she is happy, but I don't know how to get her leaves to stop like curling like this. It doesn't matter if I water her, it's still curled. If I let her dry, it's still curled. I've read that she doesn't like really high direct light. That's just how I've taken care of this little Pilea. My variegated English ivy, which I absolutely love. This variegation is so gorgeous. It has so many little babies at the top of its stem. I know that it likes really high light, so I'm hoping that this grow light is sufficient enough. This one has similar foliage to like the baby rubber, so I do let this one completely dry out before watering it, and so far it seems to really like that. Next to that one is this beautiful Hoya pubicalyx. This is another one that likes a lot of high light. I just absolutely love the foliage. I love the splashing. It honestly is a super easy plant to take care of. I do let the soil dry out and then even then go a while longer. Usually these guys up here will tell me if it needs water because right now they're standing straight up and its soil is like bone dry. But we have my original Hoya that I ever got. I want to say that this is a Crimson Princess because I've seen other people's Crimson Queens, which is actually what my plant app told me this is, and they look different. So I think that this is a Crimson Princess, but she is very large. Her stems are really nice and pink, and I just love her foliage and how some of them are really white and then others are all green. I feel like that's very pretty. This one, again, I let get completely bone dry, and then even then I go a while without watering it. This one is so eye-catching, so it makes really nice decor for my bookshelf, but it's also very low maintenance, so I don't really have to do much to take care of it. I just have to make sure that I don't go too long without watering it. I have this orchid cactus, which I didn't even know what this was when I first got it. I've had it for months and I've had it right here since I got it. It's been doing really good. Like, it's grown quite a lot, and it's even grown these like pokey cactus little stems. It has not bloomed, which I'm kind of sad about because the blooms on this thing from what I've seen are incredible and they're so huge. I'm really excited to see if this will bloom, but again, this I just leave it and let its soil get completely dry. It also likes to be in like a cool, bright area in the wintertime, but I don't think I'm gonna move it. I think I'm just gonna keep it here. We don't keep our house very hot, so I hope that it will be okay here. A lot of people will like take them and put them in their garage, but I just don't see myself doing that. But these guys are just really cool looking, and I guess they're also called jungle cactus, but I really don't know a lot about this orchid cactus. Down here is my Scindapsus Pictus, or my Satin Pothos, which is just so gorgeous, and it's getting so long. It's starting to trail out here. Has a lot of new growth. This one is just so beautiful. Like, this one and my Enjoy Pothos are pretty much tied with being my favorite Pothos, but they're so drastically different. Like, this one has such a good texture and it's so like sparkly looking. Like my other Pothos, I just leave it, let it completely dry out. Is okay being in low light situation. It doesn't need humidity. I absolutely love this Satin Pothos. This humongous Pothos is my original Pothos that I got when the quarantine first hit. This girl has gotten so huge. She's starting to trail out over here, and I think I'm just gonna let her trail. I'm not gonna like propagate her or clip her or anything like that. I just think that she just takes up so much space, and I love that. Her foliage is a really nice size. She has a lot more green than I feel like she used to, so I think that maybe keeping her in that bookshelf kind of made her revert back to just green, but she does still have a lot of her golden variegation. I feel like Pothos is just such a good low maintenance, easy plant, and there's so many different varieties, which I think is why I like them so much. I just really love Pothos, and that is what I have in this little bird cage. So this has some golden Pothos up here, some Enjoy Pothos down here, and there's one Satin Pothos in the middle there. And I don't know what my plan is for this because it's gotten pretty large already since I potted it. The Pothos has gotten a couple new leaves, and the Enjoy Pothos also has gotten like 4 new leaves. Watering it is a little bit tricky. When this busts out of this pot, it's going to be a fun day to try and get this out of here. But until then, I'm just going to let it grow in here and see what happens. I don't know, but I just thought that this was so cute. And this one is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. I named her Ariel because when I first unboxed this, she had these humongous aerial roots that I did not know what to do with. And I feel like I kept saying aerial roots as I was talking about her. So I just ended up naming her Ariel. She really is a mini monstera, even though they're not the same family. I had to repot her into this terracotta pot because she was in ceramic and she didn't really like it in there. So ever since I moved her here, she has really blossomed, and I don't think that I'm gonna try and train her to grow any certain way. I just like the way she looks, just letting her grow however she wants. My beautiful Fittonia, she's not that big. Her pot is actually much smaller, but I just like to keep her in here. So this is the second Fittonia that I've had, and the first one I killed because I did not know anything about her. But Birdyy Love Plants actually was one of the people that I looked up on YouTube that showed me so much about Fittonias. They are very vocal, so when they are really thirsty, they will completely just drop down or flop. That will help you to see that they like need water stat. I just look to the soil, and if it is completely dry, then I'll give it a drink. She is a little bit close to my humidifier, but they're just so striking, and the pink is so beautiful in the leaves, and she's grown quite a lot since I got her. This is my coffee plant. Me and her have gone back and forth on whether she likes me or not. She has a lot of browning on her leaves still, but she is starting to grow again, and for a while she was not growing and she was just turning all brown. I feel like the room she was in was too humid, so I took her out. I put her here. She does not like a lot of light. I've learned that. She is a plant that in the wild grows on other plants, so she's used to being shaded. So I've learned to keep her kind of towards the back, not in any direct light. I keep her near my little cool misting humidifier, and that seems to really work. I let her soil get completely dry because the other thing that I was doing that I think was damaging her is I was keeping her soil continually like moist. That's because all the research I found said that they like that. They don't like to dry out. They like a lot of humidity, and I feel like that was wrong, at least for this plant and where I live. She needs to dry out a little bit. Ever since I've done that, she started to grow again. This is like her old stuff, and then back here is more of like her newer, smaller leaves that are still growing, and it's all green. She definitely likes this situation a lot more. And now for my pride and joy, my polka dot begonia, or my angel wing. I just talked about her in my favorites video, so I will just be quick and brief about her. Since I've gotten her, she's had probably 4 new leaves total. I keep her over here in the kind of medium to low light next to the cool misting humidifier, and she is absolutely loving it. I killed all of my Rex begonias. You will not see one Rex begonia that I have because they all died, but this begonia has done so well for me. I just have to remember not to go too long without watering her because she is in a smaller pot, so her soil dries out much faster. And I go in between bottom watering her and then like top watering her. I think that she really likes that. This little weirdo is a purple passion, but I like to call her Nightwing. She is just so unique and so interesting. Like, she doesn't even look real. She doesn't feel real either. She is velvet, my goodness. But if you are a plant petter, then you probably want a purple passion. She has always been right here. I feel like she likes the same type of environment as these begonias. She is just such an easy plant. This Begonia lucerna, this has been just perfect. Such a gorgeous plant and so large. The leaves are stunning. A friend gave me a huge long clipping and I cut it into fourths. These 2 are the main ones that had leaves, and then 2 that did not have leaves I put inside the pot, and they grew leaves out of them. Like, I knew I should keep them because I propagated them and they were growing roots, so I put them in here. Within a week they had leaves sprouting. So this one is so fertile. This is my Mother Hartley philodendron that I had propagations from in the living room. She is huge, and I have cut so much off of her and she still is growing so large. She is so low maintenance. I mean, really, I just have to keep her leaves clean because they do get like really dusty being up here. I do eventually want to turn her. Probably after I make this video, I will turn her so that the other side of her can get some light because she is kind of heavy on one side. She gets artificial light, but really like natural light, this is all she gets. I just love heart leaves for decor plants because their foliage is so beautiful and green, and similar to the pothos, it just adds so much light and life to your home. And this is my original heartleaf philodendron mixed with a bunch of propagations that my mother-in-law gave me, because my original heartleaf I completely butchered and killed, and it used to be the size of my other one. And this one will probably stay one-sided. I don't see myself flipping her because she's so bare on this side, but it's okay. She's probably just gonna stay on a wall. She's grown so much and she has so much new growth. She's just super easy. She doesn't need a lot of light. I do have to water this one more often because it's a smaller pot, so she dries out a lot quicker. She's getting really long. As you can see, this is where she wasn't happy with me. Even though this side is more shaded, she's growing a lot over here. Like, she has a lot of new growth. So that is what's most important. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope that that was entertaining. If you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I will have the links to my Instagram in the description box. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Wednesday and Friday, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!